Hey everybody, Kyle here, also known as Acid Rain 64, and welcome back to another part of Let's Play Majora's Mask. In the last part, we talked to the monkey who had been captured by the Deku Scrubs, and we found out that the Deku Princess is actually being held in the temple, the Woodfall Temple, and that he wants us to go and rescue her in his place. So we are going to go there in just a minute, but the first thing we want to do is come up here and talk to this Deku Scrub. Now, at the end of the last part, I had mentioned that I forgot to do this. I forgot to bring the swamp title deed, but this is what you need, or the town title deed. But this is what you need it for. Thanks for stopping by. I'm doing business with a focus on the Deku Scrub clientele. Actually, I wanted to do business at the palace, but there's this big octopus, and really nothing really can be done about it, so I set up shop here. Do you know what magic beans are, sir? I'll sell you one for 10 rupees. Do you need any? No. Oh, well, that's too bad. If you ever want any, look me up. Okay, so if you actually talk to him while he's still here, you can actually buy magic beans. But you have to have bought beans from the one bean seller in the Deku Palace first, or else you won't be able to buy any. So that's why you can't just come here, buy them, and then be set. I'm hoping to find some success in a livelier place. But to open a business in another place, you need to go through the proper channels first. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so he wants to go to a livelier place, and, oops. Okay, let's talk to him again. He wants to go to a livelier place, and what's livelier than the clock town? So, we'll go ahead and give him the clock title deed, or the town deed. Why do I keep calling it clock? I'll give you this land in return. Deal? Okay, so we got the swamp title deed. I'm going off to town right now. I'll leave the rest up to you. Okay, so now we have this flower that we can use. So, after we have to watch this excruciatingly long cutscene, which, as I said before, I hope that they allow you to skip it in the 3DS remake. But okay, we can go ahead and use this flower. And right up here on top of the tourist center is a piece of heart. Okay, and that's actually not our fourth one to complete a heart container. It must have been our, let's see, we've had 4, 8, 12, I don't even know what number that is. Oh, and I fell down here. Okay, so what we need to do next is actually go back up to where we got the Song of Soaring. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is head back up there, and I'll go ahead and just cut that out so you don't have to see it again. So I'll meet you guys there. Okay, so I finally made it back up here to where we got the Song of Soaring. And that was like a 5-minute trip, so I'm glad I'm going to cut that out, or else that would be pretty annoying. Okay, so if we float over here, we can enter the Woodfall area. And this is where we will find our next temple. But, as you can see, it looks like there's really nothing here. But, we'll get to that in just a second. So basically, once you get in here, what you want to do is just follow these, boardwalks. And just make sure to avoid falling off and killing these enemies. And this should be pretty simple. So what are these guys actually called? Hip loops. One of the most random enemies in this game, and I think this is the only area that you see him in. So it's really weird. And then of course we got some Deku Scrubs trying to cause some problems. I'd actually recommend taking these guys out, because just like in the Deku Palace, they can shoot you down if you're flying across a Deku leaf. But they're not that bad. Okay, so finally, if we head over to this platform, so isn't this the Deku Scrub mark? I wonder if they worshipped here. Okay, so if you remember, we got a song from the monkey. It was the Sonata of Awakening. So let's go ahead and play that, if I actually remember how to play it. Let's see. Up, left, A, right, A. Okay. That's not too bad. Yeah, I'm recording this part and then the last segments like about a week and a half apart, because I hadn't really had time to record in a while, but today I had some time, so I figured why not do it. Anywho, after playing that song, the temple rises from the depths, and now we can enter Woodfall Temple. Pretty cool. The only thing that sucks is that if you ever want to go through this temple again after you complete it, you will have to come back and you will have to play that song again, which sucks a little bit, but it's not too bad. Okay, one thing I want to point out, if you look behind us there, there's a treasure chest. I'm pretty sure the only thing that's there is a freaking rupee of some kind. But what I want to do before we enter the temple is actually come over here. And there's actually a heart piece we can get here. But you have to go through this area, because it's all the way over there on like the last platform you can get to. So before we go that way, let's go ahead and check out what's in this cave here, because I've never actually came in here before getting what you have to have. So let's see what they say. Kind young one, please hear my plea. Please find the fairies trapped inside Woodfall Temple who match my color. Please bring them back to us. Okay, so just like in the town, there is a great fairy that has been broken up. But this time, her pieces are in the Woodfall Temple instead of in Clocktown, obviously. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that heart piece that's here. But in order to do that, we have to cross more of these boardwalk things and not fall off. Okay, one tip, if you do fall off, just let yourself drown and they'll put you right back on top. So that's really convenient, so you don't have to worry about that way you don't have to worry about trying to get back to where you were, so you can get back on here. So that really works. Okay, so we have two more of these things we have to cross. Just don't get shot down by the Deku Scrubs, and don't let yourself run out of juice, or whatever you want to call whatever keeps the Deku Scrub going. Could be farts, could be just the fact that he's light, and if he kicks his feet, he can keep himself going. Okay, so we've got one more. And you can see that there's a chest right over here, so that's where we want to go. So, you could go ahead and go to normal link once you get on these, but probably not really a good idea. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our heart piece. Whoa. I've never actually opened a big chest as Deku Link, so that kind of threw me off that he like jumps inside of the chest. It's kind of weird. Alright, now instead of having to go around that again, oh shoot. I keep forgetting how hard this is to play with this controller. The sticks are all weird. Yeah, okay. So we activated an owl statue on top of that platform, so we can actually use the Song of Soaring to get right back up there. That way we don't have to go all the way around again. So I'm glad I thought ahead and did that. Okay, so let's go ahead and fly across here and go and get this temple started. And this is like the closest flower you can get in the game, I think. They probably programmed it just so it would be like that. Okay, so welcome to the Woodfall Temple. So, just like in well, this is actually the first temple, so I can't really compare it to anything, but in each of the 4 temples in this game, there's actually 15 fairy pieces, quote-unquote, that you have to get. And there's actually one right here in this room. So, right there, it kind of shows you how to use the Great Fairy Mask. And basically, when you put that mask on, if it shimmers, there's a fairy in the room. And while you're wearing it, any fairies that are out in the open will actually come to you. So, just like that. And I think that's the last one that's in this room. I think, yeah. So once it stops shimmering, you know that there is nothing else in the room. Okay, so more Deku Scrub platforming. Now, I haven't done this dungeon in a while. I think the last time I did it was about a month ago when I was working on the practice file. And there's a point where you have to actually come back here later in the game, and I'll mention that in a bit. But for now, we need to keep getting through here. So there's a few more Great Fairies in this room, and the Great Fairies can be hidden pretty much anywhere. They can be in pots, they can be in enemies, just like it was there. They can be in pretty much anywhere. Bubbles. There's some in bubbles, which we'll see in a bit. But anyways, yeah, don't get onto these platforms as Link, because they'll actually like chew you up and spit you out into the poisonous water. So that's a really good way to die. So don't do that. Alright, there's our fourth fairy. I don't know exactly where there are the other one. There's more in this room, I know that for sure. But I think that's all we can get for now. So let's see, what do we got in the middle of the room here? It's like this giant wooden flower thing. Let's see what Tattle says about it. What do you think that is? The ashes in the center of it still look fresh. So something that was lit recently that isn't lit anymore. So we'll have to do something with that much later on in the dungeon. So the only door we can go through is this one over here. The other one was locked. And hopefully in here we can find a key. Which, spoilers, we will. We don't actually need that title deed anymore, so might as well put our nuts out there. Not like we'll really use them. Okay, another fairy you can get is up here in this beehive. And these are actually the hardest ones to get, because I think once we actually get an item that lets Link pretty much be ranged, you have to hit him twice to knock him down. So that's just a very minor thing. I can't hit it from here, but we'll get it soon enough. Okay, so let's go ahead and get on the middle here, and there's a door right across the way. So let's go ahead and head there first. See what we can find. Okay, we have some ass cracks. And funny story, or funny thing, the reason I call them that is because of how they sound when they like dash towards you. It sounds like they're saying ass crack. And I always thought that was the best thing ever. Their actual names are snappers. Yeah, really original. Okay, but in order to kill them, you just need to dive under a flower, and we'll kill them just like we did those dragonfly things in the swamp. Because as far as I know, there's no other way to kill these guys. Okay, so boop. And they're not really hard. They're just annoying. And this guy's just being stubborn. Okay. Well, they certainly move like turtles. Oh, I think we have to bait them. There we go. There we go. I thought that wasn't going to work, but it did. Okay, and so for killing him, we make a chest appear. So let's go ahead and see what's inside. It's probably the map. That's my guess. And in the dungeons, I will be doing my best to get all the treasure chests and the maps and the compasses and all that good stuff. Even though, honestly, you don't really need the map or the compass to get through the dungeons, but I like to get them anyways. Okay, what we need to do, I think we should try to get over to this platform, if we can. Okay, I think it's gonna work. Let's see what we got. Okay, and a small key, so now we can go to that other room that was in the room with the big wooden flower. So, there's a great fairy piece. I don't know exactly how many are in this room. That might be the only one. Yeah, okay. So now let's go back there and let's go to that door that was locked. Now that we have that key. Oh, that music in this dungeon is pretty weird. I like the tribal sense of it. I don't really think it fits the dungeon as a whole, but I think the boss fight for this dungeon, it fits really well. But then again, he has his own little theme going on, which is pretty cool. Okay, so in this room we have a giant block in the middle. This looks pretty light. Well, don't just stand there, press A to grab it, and oh, yeah, we know how to do this. But yeah, I like this dungeon. It's probably the most memorable for me because this is the dungeon I've probably played the most. Pretty much anything at the beginning of like this game I'm super familiar with because there's a lot of times where I've played this game like partial way through but never completed it. I mean, I've beat this game before, obviously, but there's been a lot of times, like I said, where I'll start up playing it but I never actually follow through. Okay, so I think there should be a fairy up here. Yeah, that's what I thought. And then if you actually look below this platform, ooh, a bee. There's actually a fairy underneath here in the water, but it's in a bubble, so we can't do much with that yet. Okay, so we need to be Link for just a second, and we need our Deku sticks. So I think this dungeon is like the only dungeon in the game that takes use of sticks, and there's a really good reason for that because we get a way later in one of the dungeons to make our own fire, so it pretty much makes this like obsolete in a sense. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through here, and we have some dragonflies to fight. And as far as I know, there's no way at this point that you can kill these things as Link. So you do need to play as Deku Link throughout most of this dungeon, which is not bad at all. I think it's fun playing as Deku Link. He's definitely not the strongest form that Link has, and there's not a lot of things that he can do besides use the Deku flowers, but he's still pretty fun to play as. Okay, we got the compass. The compass. Compass. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this part off here because we still have a good chunk of the dungeon to go. We're about halfway through already, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this off here. So if you like this video, please feel free to like and subscribe and all that other good stuff. And I will see you guys in the next part when we finish up this dungeon. So thanks for watching.